Hello, I am Phil Happen, and today I am joined by a man who sells meat, which is food that comes from animals, and today we're going hunting. That is the process of looking for animals and then turning them into that meat. This is that story.
Well, howdy, folks. I'm Giddy Uperton, the founder of my small business Giddy Gathered, where I believe that quality meat starts with respect for the land, the animal, and the people that we serve. Nestled right here in Los Santos, I take pride in offering fresh, locally sourced, and ethically raised meat, ensuring that every cut is packed with flavor, sustainability, and integrity. Whether you're after a prime cut of beef, farm raised poultry, or wild game from the surrounding hills, Get Gathered guarantees no factory farmed nonsense, just real honest meat from local ranchers and hunters who care. He's still good. This one keeps breaking his neck, this one.
The story of this truck ride is it is very bumpy and uncomfortable.
I'm sorry about that. And it don't taste bad either. But, I think the deer is the most accepted usually. Mountain lion is also safe to eat. We do just have to usually not pasteurize, but they what was that? Well, they heat the meat up. Usually, like a sous vide, I think. They pop it in a sous vide, kill off any other toxins and whatnot. No, got a small partnership with a packaging facility.
When you butcher a deer, where does the deer go and where does the meat come from?
Well, the meat comes from the deer, Phil. Come on, scram now. Let's go.
Would you describe venison as steak but sneakier?
No, certainly not a sneaky steak. Absolutely not.
That is a beautiful animal.
Yes, it is there, Phil. No, hunting is really all about respecting and preserving nature and the ecosystem, you see. Venison, or deer meat, not sneaky steak, but venison, what's great about it, Phil, is that it's so lean. It's free of any antibiotics. And generally speaking, hunters, they provide a great outlet to the ecosystem as a whole because hunting for your food typically has a lower carbon footprint than, let's say, commercially farmed meat. There ain't nothing sneaky about it.
The story of that descent was it was very steep and I got extremely scared.
That's a good 8-point right there.
That is indeed a majestic creature. That's all my questions for now. Once we get back to Weazel News, I will have more for you. If you're feeling hungry and you would prefer not to be, then try Giddy Gathered's Wild Burger at Burger Shot. A burger so bold, they had to give it a name that sounds like a stampede in sandwich form. If someone were to eat your meat, what would happen next?
Well, you would immediately feel a whole lot better about yourself under multiple circumstances. First, knowing that you're supporting local businesses, keeping this economy alive and thriving is crucial to everyone's survivability. But even more than that, you could rest on that none of your meat is tainted with any antibiotics or other harmful chemicals or byproducts of factory-raised meat.
Now, you're known for your meat, but what do you say to people who say, I don't know this man, and I have never heard of his meat?
Well, I would say that is a fair criticism, but you know, let me just raise another question or hypothetical. Do you know the name of the man who owns the factory that you purchased your last meat from, your last sandwich that you got from a convenience store? Do you know the name of any business owner who is providing all of the antibiotic filled and pesticide riddled grass fed product that sits on your table every night? The answer most certainly is no.
You've been described as a man who knows his way around meat. How did you learn the layout of meat and why?
And as for the why, I guess it's just I had a strong ranching background, and it gave me an appreciation for this quality meat. As well as my drive to bring this ethically sourced farm to table meat to all these city folk who, well, might not know where their food comes from.
Some say you're the best in the business. Others say nothing at all because they don't know you. Which group is correct?
So, yeah, I wouldn't claim myself to be necessarily the best. I'm not a prideful man in that regard. So I wouldn't go that far. I just do things the right way. I've been at it long enough to know what a good cut looks like, and I know where to find the best meat. And well, folks seem to like what I do, and that's good enough for me. So I would say in the immediate vicinity, I'm probably one of the best, but I wouldn't go as far to say I'm the absolute reigning supreme champion here either. I don't have an ego like that.
You mentioned earlier that venison was your top seller. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
Would you say that's because people buy it a lot?
Yeah, I think people buy it a lot. It's also just for the fact that it's of the three meats that I offer right now, I think that's the least gamiest.
People say hunting requires patience. Would you describe patience as waiting for something to happen while you are not doing anything else?
Well, hunting certainly does require patience, Phil. I wouldn't say that you're necessarily waiting around while nothing else is happening. I like to think of patience as a respect of time, right? Time is always ticking. There's nothing we can do to stop it, and you have to pay the respect that time is owed. Well, I think things that come quick typically are easy, and that's why today I think our food industry is the way it is. Too many shortcuts to the food that's on your table, and that's why it's so questionable.
Now, this next question is going to be another in my line of questioning. When you hunt deer, would you say the deer does not want that to happen?
Well, I think that's a fantastic question, Phil. Does the deer not want it to happen? You know, most likely, sure. Does anyone want something negative in their life to happen? No one wants anything negative in their life to happen.
All right, we are getting down to my final questions. I've heard that jerky can last for years. Would you say that's because it's food that does not go bad until it does?
Sure. Well, jerky. Let me think on that for a second there, Phil.
And if a customer came up to you and told you that your meat was delicious, would you agree or would you say thank you?
Well, I would do both. I would agree and I would thank them wholeheartedly. From grill masters to gourmet chefs, if you want meat with a story, you can feel good about Giddy Gathered, who's got you covered. So, you can go ahead and give me a call at 089-4491, or you can find my ad in the promo hub. Give me a call today, we'll set up a deal, and I look forward to providing you with the highest quality meats available here in Los Santos.
And so, the man who sells meat has spoken. His meats are known for being both delicious and edible, two qualities people often look for in meat. I have learned today that hunting is not just about finding animals, but also about seeing them, and that the best way to know if an animal is nearby is to watch for one. For Weazel News, I'm Phil Hapman, reporting on meat from a man who sells it.